this is interesting. Look at this.
Yeah.
Now, straight away, let's say Sunderland did not commit an offence of any kind here.
No.
What they did was they moved.
Yeah, what you're saying there is to put that there. See this here, Richard?
Yes.
That's where they normally are.
Yes, they moved this in with the
Because
idea
of the long throw.
being to stop Arsenal using long throws. Now, my concerns, this is Everton the other night, okay?
Yeah.
This is yesterday.
Yeah,
Now,
it was here. You can see the line, and they've moved it in.
it's very clear the purpose of having done that.
Yes.
As long as there's a metre between here and the hoarding, everything's okay. But in a time when we recently had a fatality because of the proximity of a concrete wall to non-league ground, and I know it's entirely different. I just looked at that yesterday and I thought that's a bit close for me. That might be endangering the well-being of those on the football pitch. And I know that there is a meeting at Arsenal tomorrow to discuss. Now, as I say, no rules have been broken. Sunderland are well within their rights, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, the only thing, I think that the laws of the game that they have there say there must be a minimum of a metre between that line and where the hoardings are. You can see from that there's more than a metre, way more. There's probably over 2 metres of a gap between where and where the hoarding begins. So they are well within their rights to do that. We know why they did it. They wanted to negate the long throw, help them a little bit. They're perfectly within the right to do that as long as you don't alter the dimensions of the football pitch in the same way.
Which we've seen done.
But I do get
when
that.
he was in charge of Rangers many years ago, did that, of course.
If people are concerned with safety of players, and they rightly should be, then I don't know what they do about that then, because what do? Do you say to certain clubs, well, if you've got the space, you have to move it right back, like where it is there, and it has to stay there, because a lot of grounds are not like this.
Stadium of Light.
They're not like it.
You were going to say Roker Park.
I was going to say Roker Park, I know. Now, had it been Roker Park, there wouldn't be the room to put the hoardings any further away from the pitch. I take Old Trafford, for instance.
Andy, on the one hand,
there's
it's
only
very
about
smart.
a metre before it drops off.
Yeah. On the one hand, it's very smart. It's a talking point.
Yeah.
And it did not go unnoticed by Arsenal.
I'll be interested to see what happens.
Subject of conversation after they'd left the ground yesterday. So we'll wait for developments on that.
And streets ahead of Liverpool, they're now within 4 points of Arsenal. That gap being reduced, Arsenal drawing last night at Sunderland, and just the overall dominance of City this afternoon. Would you be nervously looking over your shoulder?
I think Arsenal will be nervous because of it's Man City, and they've done this to them twice before. Twice in the last 3 years, Manchester City have come from behind and caught Arsenal. And also the manner of the victory today. That first half performance with Man City was a little bit like, they're playing Liverpool. Liverpool are the champions. They absolutely took them the cleaners. And I think on the back of Arsenal dropping points against a promoted team who were doing absolutely fantastically well in the Premier League, Sunderland, they'll have been hoping for a draw. They'll have seen City's not just win, but performance, and probably getting a few flashbacks to what's happened the last couple of times when they felt they had a great chance at the title. And it might be a long 2 weeks thinking and worrying about Manchester City for Arsenal supporters and players.
And genuinely, that plays into the psychology then, because it's not like, say, this midweek Premier League game, or even just one next weekend where you reset and go again. It's 2 weeks to think about it.
Yeah, and that's the problem with international break when you don't have a great result. There's a long time to think about it. I still think Arsenal are the best team I've seen in this league this season, no doubt, but there's an awful long way to go. And there's no doubt because Arsenal haven't won the league for so long, those supporters, players, manager, everyone will become twitchy in the second half of the season if it becomes time.
Of Arsenal today going into the international break, how significant is that in terms of that title challenge, even in November?
I think it's very significant. I think none of the teams, whether it's Liverpool or Arsenal, would want City chasing them. They have experience in chasing or leading, so whatever the back end of the season poses for them, they'll be ready for it. They can draw on past experiences and leaders within the group that have gone through that process. So, yeah, Arsenal obviously will be focused on what they need to do, because if they win their remaining games, they're in control of their own destiny. But again, you'll keep one eye on City because you know if any slips that they were there.
Well, an extraordinary end at the Stadium of Light, where Sunderland are still unbeaten since their return to the Premier League. We'll talk about Arsenal and the title in a moment, but Julian had a very brief, but he still knows what it's like to put on a Sunderland shirt at the Stadium of Light. I mean, what a performance they've put in all season, particularly at home, and they're in the top four.
I know, yeah. Performances, like you said, it's not just yesterday. They've been outstanding, very difficult place to go. Very intense atmosphere, and as long as they can keep that momentum there throughout the season, that will be the fortress for them and play a massive part in them hopefully staying in the league.
And they've shown some unbelievable character already, but none more so than to come back against Arsenal, who'd won 10 in a row.
Yeah, they've showed it all season. I think you need that. You need that positivity. You need that kind of bounce, you know, coming into the league and things to go your way and fight and scrap for things. And, you know, most people would have written them off. Arsenal coming back, looking strong, looking solid, 2-1 up. Probably cruise to a win and move on. But fair play to Sunderland, you know, they never give up. A late goal, another point, keeps ticking that points tally up and keeps the momentum up. And the stadium was the energy and the as I said, the bounce in the stadium, and big goal for them to carry that into the international break on a high.
And just to put it into perspective, Sunderland scoring 2 against Arsenal, who hadn't conceded in all competitions for 13 and a half hours.
Exactly, it puts it into perspective. I mean, Arsenal's strength really is their defence, isn't it? Got a great goalkeeper, really good back four. They protect the back four well as well. They play to their strengths and they don't concede many goals. So for a newly promoted team to score 2 goals against them is a brilliant achievement. And who'd have thought that? I mean, the last 6 teams to have come up have all gone back down. Most people predicting the same 3 to go back down that came up this season. But if the first 10, 11 games are anything to go by, Sunderland aren't going to be there. In fact, they're going to be chasing European prizes the way they're going.
In terms of Arsenal, though, they're bitterly disappointed at the draw, but it shows where they're at, how far they've come, and the standards they've hit this season.
Yeah, it's the highest level they've got, and consistency's right there. And like I said, they've got a great balance. They are reliant on the defensive side of the team, but they can score goals. And they said as long as they can keep that balance and not just be too reliant on any one department, they'll give themselves a great opportunity to win.
Because obviously they didn't have Yoker as the centre forward in this game, but they look better equipped, don't they? Erdegaard's been out most of the season to cope with missing players.
Yeah, they've got good balance, they've got good depth. I still think it's almost sparring season in terms of still got the head guard on and the big gloves almost in the fights after Christmas, the real battle, you know. Kind of putting yourself in position and jostling for position at the moment, but they certainly look strong. They can win games, they don't give much away, win games different ways. It's Christmas time after Christmas, who's fit, what's the form looking like then? Finish line comes in sight, all of a sudden the dynamics change a little bit, but at the moment they're doing a lot of good things, winning games well for the most part, and they look big contenders, and at the moment whoever beats them probably wins the league.
Yeah. It's theirs to lose at the moment?
Oof. I mean, possibly. They are a fair few points ahead. I mean, listen, you ask anybody, I think they'd probably say Arsenal are the favourites at the moment. So, yeah, it's going to take a good effort to beat them, because I can't see them dropping too many points. They're very efficient, aren't they? I mean,
does that bring its own pressures when everyone's now in the past they haven't been expected, they've been chasing Liverpool and City? Does it bring its own pressure when you're out there to be shot?